Alright, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony. I am here with my sister Holly. We are playing Stardew Valley, and today we are going to talk about lockdown and how it affected us and what our experiences were with it and all that kind of stuff. So, hello.
Hello.
Why did you gasp?
Me?
Yeah, you gasped.
When?
I don't know, a minute ago. When I was ending my video, suddenly you gasped. I didn't know if it was excitement or what.
I don't know. I don't
Oh.
remember gasping.
Weird, you totally did. Anyway, so hi. We are talking about lockdown.
Yep, we're talking about lockdown.
Since
Lockdown
I
was
went first for COVID, do you want to go first for lockdown?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so lockdown for me was okay. So when lockdown happened, it was the 13th, you said?
It was the 13th when they announced it, at least. Oh, yeah, everywhere, because we're...
Yeah, because we're in the same...
Yeah, we are in the same country.
Same world. But, yeah, so with, it was the 13th, so we had already had our youngest's first birthday party planned. Her birthday is March 26th, so we had invited people and, so we just kind of messaged everybody and we were like, hey, in a couple of weeks when lockdown, or, we're just going to push it back a little bit to when lockdown's over, not really a big deal. We'll just push it over, or, push it another week. So
Right,
that was the plan, and then, yeah, I am. So that was the plan, but here, you're going to take care of the animals real quick. I'm going to go put some trash in the recycling bin. But... Oh, okay. So yeah, that was just kind of, at first...
Bin?
Yeah, there's a recycling bin. It's behind the train station.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the community cleanup task that we have is. So... that's, so that was basically just, like, my first thought with, the lockdown was just, okay, well, I guess we gotta push the birthday party back a little bit, whatever. But then, obviously, it got a little more intense than that, and I messaged people, and I was like, listen, I don't think anybody's comfortable with coming, and that's fine, we're just gonna cancel it and just have little, something small here at home. So we did that, and then, okay, so lockdown for me was weird, because especially, like, at the beginning and during the summer, we stopped going out to eat, of course. We could still go hiking legally here, as long as you stayed, 6 feet away from people and went to the other side of the trail if somebody was walking past you and all that. But that's all anybody could do, so that's all anybody was doing. So every trail and every park was packed. So, we really didn't end up doing that a lot because it was honestly more stressful than anything. So then we just ended up, hanging out at home, and it was the summer in California, so there were fires. It was surreal. Like, everything about that time was just, it feels like a weird dream, because California was on fire. The sky was like hazy and bright orange. And, then there was the lockdown, the pandemic, and hold on. Okay. I got a diamond, yay. And so, and I remember, okay, for some reason songs stick with me a lot. I think maybe because, like, we opened the door and would, like, let the air in and listen to music just to kind of try to make things feel, more, like, chill and normal and whatever. So, we opened the door when we could, but also there was smoke in the air, so it wasn't always safe. And, like, But the song, okay, songs by George Ezra. Do you know who George Ezra is?
I know the name, but I don't know if I know any of the songs.
Okay, well, we listened to, for some reason, a lot of George Ezra at that time. And the song Dance Monkey,
Oh,
this
yep,
kids
okay,
really
yep,
liked.
I know that song.
The kids really liked that at that time. And for some reason, those songs, like, I still can't listen to them now without getting just like that weird, eerie, like lockdown, everything's on fire, the sky is orange feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just everything felt weird. Like I don't know. And oh, and on top of that, um, I don't know if you guys know, like any, people listening know a whole lot about PG&E, the gas and electric company out here in California, but they're
Oh,
garbage.
yeah. Oh, my
They're
gosh.
Aaron Brockovich, that the whole Aaron
Yeah, the
Brockovich
whole
thing
Aaron
was
Brockovich.
was about them.
Yeah, the whole
Like her
movie.
suing them, and because they're garbage. Like they don't take care of their equipment. They don't take care of their lines. They have been the cause of so many wildfires out here. Um, and it's just been so instead of putting in the time and effort to fix their lines, clear like the bush around the like the brush. I mean, not bush, um, around them and stuff. They instead just decided that if it's hot and windy, which it often is in California during the summer, if it's hot and there's any kind of breeze, they're just gonna shut everybody's power off for days or weeks at a time. Oh, and when all of our food goes bad, they're nice enough to provide us with a shitty packed lunch one time of peanut butter and jelly and like a granola bar or some shit, or like a bruised apple. It was really bad and really pathetic.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
remember
yeah,
all of the
so
rage that you felt during that time.
yeah, well, and it still happens, but it doesn't happen as much around here because we're in like a bigger city now. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, so yeah, that there was that on top of it. Like there was the pandemic, there was the fires, there was the weird hazy orange sky, there was the lockdown, and then there was every once in a while our power would just be shut off for a week. So it was like it was insane. It was not a
Yeah,
good
and it was
time.
during a lockdown, so it's not even like their power shut off and they could take their kids to a park or go stay at a hotel or anything because
Yeah.
everything was shut down.
Yeah, it was like it was we I can't even when I try to explain to people that it literally felt like a dream but like in the worst way.
Yeah,
I mean
that would be
it.
called
But
a
like
nightmare hell.
it felt like not even a nightmare though. Just like a really like those dreams where you wake up and you just feel like really unsettled even though it wasn't a bad dream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. Like it wasn't a nightmare. It was just like really unsettling and surreal and uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
And so like we oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh shit, I gotta run. No, no, no. I pushed the wrong button. I died because I pushed the wrong fucking button.
Oh no.
I hate so much being in these mines. I'm so bad at it. I die. I don't pay enough attention. Okay. Anyway,
Did you lose anything important?
I don't know. 700 gold and an item from my backpack. What item though?
It'll
Oh,
tell
just
you.
a crystal fruit. Just a
Okay.
crystal fruit.
Okay, good.
I mean, I needed to eat those. So,
That's fine. You
that's
don't have to
great.
keep going in the mine if you don't want to.
No, but I am gonna eat this fish so that I don't die going home.
Okay.
Oh no! I wasn't trying to go down there. Yes, leave the mine. Okay. So, yeah, and then for, like, there was that, and my anxiety, of course, was at an all-time high, which, if you know me at all, my anxiety is already pretty much past the normal person's,
Yep.
like, limit for sanity.
Yeah. I have severe anxiety, and even I'm sometimes like, holy shit.
Yeah. So, it was weird, and it was But at the same time, there was like an eerie, comforting feeling to it, which I can't really. It's the same thing with surreal, weird, trippy dreams. Like there's just like an eerie, comforting feeling that comes along with it. And that is just, yeah. That's. Oh, and then of course, we didn't do anything for how long? It took us. How long ago did Heather and I get in that argument?
I don't know. It's been a little while, but not too terribly long.
Yeah, it's been I think that was probably 9 months ago.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So it probably took us another month after that to even venture out into public at all. Of course, wearing our masks and being super cautious and staying away from people. And only within the last 6 months that we've actually started going out in public again. We're all vaccinated and all that. Now the kids go to classes and stuff, but our lockdown, personally, was significant.
Yeah.
We locked ourselves down for a long time. We were not playing around.
Yeah, that is very true.
So, but of course, after a while, we started seeing close friends and family again after, Jay's mom and, our friends and everything would hang out after probably a year.
Yeah.
But, well, and Jay's mom came around before that too, but she would make sure to get tested and everything beforehand. But we also moved during lockdown.
Yep.
We moved from an apartment to a house, which made a huge difference because we had a yard that the kids could play in, a lot of open space. We could take walks in the neighborhood and go to the park that was literally right behind us. It was definitely better after we moved.
Yeah.
But they were still doing those friggin' power shutoffs, so that was fun. Yeah. That was pretty much my lockdown experience, was just, I don't know, weird. What was yours?
Mine was very different because of the situation I was in. So, like I had said in the last video, Lucas had the flu and was sick when lockdown was first announced. And so I was just kind of oh, okay, I guess my kid gets some extra time off, because originally it was supposed to be for the duration of spring break. And then everything was supposed to, go back to whatever. Well, obviously, as we all know, that did not happen. And so when they extended it and decided to end school for the year, at first it wasn't really it was just kind of okay, like I said, I work from home. My ex-husband had already lost his job at this point, so he wasn't working. It wasn't really that, I guess, major of a deal at that particular time. Simply because we weren't...
It's 11:50, just so you know.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so during this time, that was when my ex-husband started acting very erratic. Over the top. Just... And I thought that it was because... because when we were all locked down, he wasn't staying home. He was constantly gone at his friend Rich's house. And so I was okay, iron bar, sure thing, Clint. And I was annoyed by the fact that he was not really obeying the lockdown protocols, but at the same time, what?
I need an iron bar too, so could you hand me one if you have one?
I do not Oh, okay, here's one. You ready?
Yeah.
What, Lucas? You're gonna have to wait, honey. I'm recording. I'm not doing it right now. Anyway, so we had a lot going on here, and so not being able to leave the house was honestly, it wasn't that huge of a deal for us originally. But it was really eerie, around here, because as summertime started to happen, literally there would be just deer walking down the street. And I'm talking in the middle of town. There were deer at the beach. There were deer
so weird.
just if I had to because the way that I started doing it is I would go to the store once every 2 weeks and I would just get tons and tons of groceries. And I would try to get enough groceries to last for the entire 2 weeks. And and I would usually try to just go by myself and not bring the kids because I didn't want them in the stores. And we don't have, okay, you got it? We don't have options around here for grocery delivery or anything like that. It's way too small of a town. So I would just go to the local grocery store. I would spend, as much money as I could, get 2 weeks worth of groceries, and then I wouldn't go again. And that was, at the time people were hoarding toilet paper and, the whole deal. And, so, it was stressful, but at the same time, there was so much more stress at home that was basically my main focus. And then it was in the summer of 2020, right in the middle of lockdown, that my husband first went at me, and the kids and I had to leave, and we found out that he was on drugs. And so then I had to try to get him into rehab and do all this stuff in the middle of lockdown.
Yeah.
So, and then, like I said in my video when I talked about all of this, my ex-husband only spent a day and a half or 2 days in rehab, and then he was home. So then at this point, our main focus, the kids and I, was not COVID or lockdown or anything like that. Our main focus was trying to essentially survive, knowing that this man was on drugs and that we were just basically stuck here with him.
Yeah.
And that was our whole thing, is it was not even a case of COVID kind of became the back burner for us because we had so much else going on. But at the same time, because of the fact there was COVID, I wasn't seeing my sisters. I wasn't seeing my mother. I wasn't seeing anyone. I couldn't see any of my friends. And it was unbelievably lonely. I had never in my life felt as alone as I felt during that time, because I had all this horrible stuff going on in my life. I had literally no one that I could even go and visit for a little bit to try to get away from it, because I wasn't going to put somebody at risk. I had this weekend job that I was doing where I was taking care of an elderly man on top of that, plus the little boy that I watch has asthma. So I certainly was not about to put any of those people at risk. And it was genuinely just a very scary, very lonely situation. And then even when the kids, are we going to go back to the mine? Or actually just I'm going to go back to the mines. That way you don't have to try to deal with it.
Okay. I'm just trying to collect trash so that I can do that one task.
That works. But so for me, it was I would try to watch the news just to get the bare minimum of the idea of what was going on.
But, an update here and there.
Yeah, but I couldn't think to when they would update the number of deaths or the number of people who'd been sick. It literally I basically was like playing ostrich. I had to bury my head in the sand and not think too hard about it, or else I would lose it. And I was just barely hanging on to like my sanity, I guess, trying to survive what was going on with my husband, and trying to keep my kids okay. And honestly, I couldn't think too hard about it. And then
Yeah.
and then we the Salem and I got vaccinated, and we did this before we went to Florida for our vacation. This was in October of 2021, and it was right after that my ex-husband was arrested for the domestic violence on me, and he was gone. And so then my main focus at that point was getting the PPO, getting my divorce, just figuring all that out. And it wasn't until, I guess, kind of recently that, like, because, I got Lucas vaccinated too as soon as he was able. And it was weird to go on vacation, like, with COVID, but at the same time, we were vaccinated. We'd been vaccinated for quite a while at that point. And we took all the precautions. Everything was fine. The vacation went well. But like, again, that it was kind of like more of an escape than anything, because we were trying to get away from the situation happening at home.
Yeah.
And so, like, it was weird, because, like, it was very eerie to see the town, and, like, I didn't realize the extent that it affected us until things kind of started to lift. And, like, I put my kids in therapy as soon as we found out that their father was a drug addict, simply because their father's a drug addict. I feel like they could probably use some therapy. So, I did that. And then, but putting them in therapy made me realize, like, especially because I'm not going to get too much into detail with my kids' mental health, because that's not fair to do when they're, that's their business. But one of my children basically expressed a very, very deep loneliness, because some of my kids went to school, like, once school was offered again in person. Some of them went back, some of them did not. And there was a lot of, like, haven't seen my friends in a very long time, all this trauma's happened to me. Like, it was incredible. And, like, even with me, I had people that I could talk to, via the internet or the phone, but I didn't really have, like, I had insane amounts of traumatic things happening, and I didn't have an escape. Like, the kids and I couldn't just leave. And it was very, very difficult for us, because we didn't have the safety of our house. And then, of course, once Bob was gone, it was like, oh, good, now we have the safety of our house. But me and my middle child actually got into a routine during COVID. This was when Lucas was back to school in person, which this was in 2021. My ex-husband was still in the house, but he really wasn't home a lot. What we would do is, the kids were in school, like, one of my kids was in school. He had done the first semester online, but then by the second semester, I agreed to let him go back to in person, and he did. And so at this point, my other child was not in school, or was doing virtual school. And so we got in this routine where Salem would do the virtual school, get done, and then we would get in. And by the way, at this point, gas prices were very low, because no one was going anywhere. And, I'm sure there were other reasons, but, gas prices were very low. And so we were in the habit of getting in the car and we made a playlist of songs that were just songs that we like to listen to, and we would drive to Tim Hortons and get iced coffee, or a cold brew. Actually, I don't like iced coffee. A cold brew, because Salem convinced me to try it, and it was actually okay. And so we'd get this cold brew, and then we would just drive around and listen to music. And this was our daily routine. This was literally the only time that this child left the house. The only time. And so that kind of became like a lifeline. And to the point that now, when this child is feeling down, depressed, upset, we even still, with gas prices what they are, with my car overheating every time you look at it wrong, with my tires going flat every 5 minutes, we still will try to do a drive, even if it's just to go get the coffee and come back, because that is the one thing that is guaranteed to lift this child's spirits. And it became such like a, but like, I don't know, like it's hard to explain, but like lockdown was in the beginning almost like not really fun. Obviously it was not fun, but it was like, oh, you know, we're already at home anyway, you know, we get a little break. I actually didn't have the, like, I didn't watch the kids that I watch for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because mom wasn't at work. Mom wasn't going to work. And then, you know, eventually they started coming back because even though actually for like a year and a half almost, their mom worked from home, but it was easier to send them to me, and since I was comfortable with it, that's what we did. But at first it was just kind of like an extended summer break, you know, like we could still go for little walks around, you know, around town, because, you know, as long as we stayed away from other people, like once we got the okay to walk around the neighborhood or whatever, we would do that.
Yeah.
But then, what on earth are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I was just putting stuff away.
Oh, okay. Well, you just had a frozen geode in your hand. I didn't know why.
Oh, because I took it back out of the chest because I want to go open it tomorrow, and I don't want to forget.
Oh, do you only have one?
I think so.
Oh.
I've opened the others.
Oh. I always build them up for a really long time. I don't know why.
I don't know.
But anyway, so, you know, and like I said, it was really eerie to see like this town just being completely empty. And but I don't know, it's so hard because like I said, with us we had so much going on. Lucas, honey, I'm recording. He's so loud. But we had so much going on that it was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just
like a secondary.
Yeah, it was like
issue.
Obviously I knew what was going on with the world, but it wasn't until probably October or November of this year that I started kind of coming out of my fog. Kind of coming out of my fog and realizing like how much really happened. I don't know, like, well, and then it also didn't help that in May of 2020? One of my friends died. Not COVID related. But this was the boyfriend of another one of my friends. And so I spent a lot of time basically talking her off the ledge, so to speak. But I mean, actually, literally, because she was so devastated by this, you know, this is the father of her kids, and, you know.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And yeah, it was awful. Like, his death was horrible. And so, you know, I had that going on, and then I had all this stuff in my, and I wasn't telling people what was going on in my life. Like, obviously.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, like, obviously some people knew, but I wasn't super vocal about the whole situation. Well, your pickaxe isn't strong enough either. I wasn't super vocal about the whole thing because there was nothing anybody could do. And also because I was mildly like, not quite embarrassed, but like I couldn't leave yet. And I knew that I couldn't leave yet.
And you didn't want people to think you were just staying just without
exactly, because like it was hard enough to try to make my kids understand, because there's only so much you can explain to kids.
Yeah.
And so to try to explain to them why we're even still here, that, you know, it was a lot. Lockdown was a lot. And it was definitely a very, very dark time in some ways, because there was a lot of stuff going on that was not the greatest.
Yeah, and I don't know. That was like, oh, and another thing that I didn't even mention when it comes to lockdown is that it happened right after I had bought tickets to go see my nephew graduate.
Too. Yeah, that was the other thing. I can't believe I forgot to mention that, because I was so focused on everything that happened with Bob.
You know, we've actually mentioned that in other videos too.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I didn't mention that my kid missed his own graduation. Everything. Like, this was probably, I'm going to say, the worst part of the lockdown, is my oldest son graduated high school in 2020. And he didn't get to finish his senior year in school. He is a drama kid, and he didn't get to do the final play. He didn't get to, you know, walk his school for the final time. He didn't get to, they did have like a little graduation. It was all outdoors, and, you know, they did get to walk across the stage, but we had to sit in a car. Like, the students got to walk across the stage, and the parents had to sit in a car and watch it from, like, the little road. And I'm glad that they did something. I am. And like, they put these banners up all across the town. And like, I was on the party committee for the senior all night party. Like, there was all this stuff that my son was supposed to be able to do that he didn't get to do. And I feel like he kind of got robbed. And I know he's not, like, I think he was more upset about it at the time. I don't think he's as upset about it now. But I don't know, like, it bums me out. Like, I don't even think they did yearbooks.
And probably
like,
not.
And we paid a lot of money for his, like, senior quote and stuff. So, like, where's my kid's yearbook?
I know, right? You think that they would at least, like,
quote, but as, like, you know, the little thing, what do you call it?
Yeah, his page.
Yeah, the page that they do for the seniors. And, like, his dad and I actually, like, filled that whole thing out while he was getting his surgery that he had. Not that Matthew was getting his surgery that he had. But, yeah, like, that same year, Matthew had surgery. He actually had surgery, well, I guess it would have been 2019 in December. And, so he had already missed, you know, some school for that, and then he had to miss all this end of the year senior stuff. And Holly was going to come. Holly and her husband and kids were going to come and surprise him.
Yeah,
they were going to show up at graduation. They had the tickets bought, like,
non-refundable, and
yep. And I was going to do like a graduation party for him while they were here. I had that like partially planned. Me and his dad were like planning like the whole thing together. Like I said, during like for Matthew's surgery, we were like sitting there in the waiting room planning out his surgery, because Matthew has a different dad. It's not my ex-husband.
I think you mean his party.
What'd I say?
You said planning out his surgery.
Oh no, we were not planning his surgery. During his surgery, we were planning his graduation stuff, his party and everything, and like, yeah, like we were getting all this stuff like ready to go, and then
and it just couldn't happen.
Nope. And it was really like that's a bummer. Like, he still kind of mentions sometimes how he's bummed that he didn't get to do that final play. And like, I especially felt bad for the drama teacher, because he's a super nice guy, and his firstborn son was also supposed to graduate.
Yeah.
And he didn't get to do his son's final play. He didn't get to, and these were kids that he's been working with for years, doing plays and stuff. And I just.
He was one of my favorite teachers.
I know. He's such a nice guy. And I just, it really bums me out that he didn't get that opportunity either. And like he had named like because every year the whole drama like production gets like a name. He had named it "You Are My Sunshine" because that's the song that he sang to his son when he was a baby. And like he was putting his whole heart into this, and it just ended. And now they did do the drama awards. They did them outside. I remember Bob was 100% convinced that I wasn't really at the drama awards and I was off having an affair.
Of course.
And I remember thinking that it was so absurd because I literally brought Matthew with me. So, did he really think that that's what I was doing?
He seems to think that you bring people over with the kids just in the house, so why not?
Yeah, that is very true. But I remember being just absolutely baffled. But, again, at this point, I didn't know yet that he was using drugs. So, a lot of things that he did baffled me before I knew what was going on. But yeah, there was like, I don't know, I feel so bad because all these kids missed out on so much. And I don't know, like I was reminded of that when I went to graduation this year for all the kids. It's like, my kid didn't even get to like do that. Like I have been to so many graduations and I have not even been able to go to my own child's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. He's going to be 20 this year and like...
Okay, the next person who says that to me, I'm so mad.
I was just going to say the next graduation you're going to be going to is still in a couple years away, or the next chance.
Why would you say that to me? I swear.
I'm sorry.
Like, I took Salem driving today, and just for no reason. I was so nice. I took my kid driving, and he's just like, oh yeah, Matthew's going to be 20 this year. Excuse me. I just did a nice thing for you. Why are you attacking me?
Listen. I mean, we all have to, we have to accept it. It's just...
I don't want to,
is.
though. 20 is so old.
20 is so
I was
old.
20 when I got pregnant with him.
I know, that's insane.
Yeah.
Well, I was just, like, I just showed you the pictures that I found of Lily.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, how is it, like, that made me feel old, because she, like, look at her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how the hell was I so old when she was a teeny, tiny, tiny baby?
Yeah.
Like...
Exactly. It's absurd. There's
and
no
then the
reason
pictures
for
of me holding itty bitty teeny tiny baby Matthew during Christmas time always get me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how is that
you?
tiny baby who is now like fucking 1.5 feet taller than me?
Yeah, seriously, he is so tall.
He is so tall. Like, I mean, he's a grown ass man, and I'm like, look at that tiny baby. That doesn't make any sense. There's no way I'm that old.
I know. When I sometimes come across old videos of him talking, and I'm like, how? How is that my child's voice?
I know, he's so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I heard him speak after, like, his voice changed, I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect that. But I mean, I should have. I know Matt.
I know. It's insane. I just almost died, so I deleted the mines.
Okay, I'm gonna go up anyways, because I need to put some trash in the thing.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, that was, my experience with lockdown was probably a bit different than, I guess, most
your
people's.
lockdown your lockdown was a lot less COVID centric.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously I remember, the lockdown and, the entirety of all of that. But when I think back to that time, my focus is more on everything else that we were dealing with.
Yeah.
And just this, like I said, this horrible sense of loneliness.
Yeah. Yeah, that seriously would have been awful. I'm so glad that that's all over for you now. Like, I mean,
Me
you
too.
still have to, he still has to exist in the life of you and your children, but
Yeah, remind me when we are done recording. I meant to send you and Heather a screenshot of what I'm dealing with currently.
oh, great.
Yeah, you guys are gonna love it.
All right, well, wow, it is 9:19, so I guess we should go to bed and end it here.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have anything more to say about lockdown at this point.
I love when the day in the game ends at like the perfect time.
I
I'm
know. It's very nice.
gonna put these in here. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna go to bed. All right.
You, and you. And
Let's
that
go to
way
bed.
all set for tomorrow. Okay, but yeah, so that, I don't know, I guess if you want to share your experience with lockdown with us, you can. Oh, I hope that I wasn't holding the controller that whole time. I hate when that happens, when you can see me holding the controller on the video. It's so awkward. I try to keep it low, but I find myself bringing it up high and not realizing it. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Someday. Someday we could do a video call and I could be on there too.
Yeah, I just don't know how to like do that. Like I don't know how to make you be on here as well.
Yeah. We should figure that out sometime. I don't know
Yeah.
why I started a new day, by the way. Okay.
Because we automatically do it. But yeah, anyway. Uh, 1 second, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, thank you guys for watching. That was our experience with lockdown. Let us know how lockdown was for you. What you thought, what you felt, whatever. And see you guys in the next one. Bye.